light. And these are the examples of photos made with 100% natural light. I would like to start speaking with about natural light because I started photography, and still it is my favorite, though now I use it not so often as earlier, but I'll explain why I love natural light so much. Well, first of all, I love it because when you make a huge composition, such as you can see on the first photo, natural light, it captures the space entirely. It fills the space entirely, so that every detail is seen, and it makes the picture looks full of volume, full of soft lights, soft shadows. The shadows are not so deep, and also they do not look flat. If you know what I mean, the flat effect, it may usually appear when you are shooting with the flat light, but the shadows which appear when using nature are beautiful and soft. And although sometimes objects when you're shooting with natural light, they can not look very sharp, even if they're focused. They do not look so sharp as when you're shooting with flashlight, and that gives the atmospheric look to the whole picture. Well, you can see the second picture. By the way, it was made for the stock agency, and the third picture yes, very soft light, soft shadow, but still it is suitable for commercial photography. It was bought several times in several stock agencies. The third photo with figs is also made with natural light. I keep it myself. I do not sell it because I'm in the near future I'm intended to make something like posters and then sell it on my own platform, my own site. That's not the point. No, so the soft lights and shadows is not the only option with natural light. Yeah, the other option that I like natural light is making photos with direct sunlight. When you can see deep shadows, which are not overwhelming here. They are the part of the picture, the part of the composition. And as you may know, this was the trend some time ago, and I get it when you use direct sunlight in creating compositions. For example, in the first photo, you can see that I added some shadows using dried flowers and leaves. The leaves and flowers, you cannot see them on the photo, but their shadows, they make that kind of pattern on the background. It makes the photo a little bit strange, but interesting, I suppose. And that opportunity to create something unique and beautiful. The second picture with an ice cream, it was also made with direct sunlight. You can see the stripes on the bottom, not behind, before the main subject, before the ice cream. This is the shadows from the balcony. So that was my idea, to use stripes, the shadows, to make this pattern. And I think I like how it looks, and it looks quite interesting to me. So this one more you have with the natural light. I know that some photographers, and me too as well, can imitate this direct sunlight using artificial lighting. But to me personally, the imitation is much less beautiful when you see the result photo than the natural direct light. So particular thing I like natural light. Okay. One more thing I would like to discuss and to tell you about is freezing motion using natural light only. Some photographers says it is impossible because you'll need special equipment such as a strong flashlight to freeze motion. I can agree in some way, but I think that the truth is somewhere in, because, of course, when you will need to do commercial shooting with the crazy levitation, where you have to capture every single drop of water, every single splash, and sugar dust or something like that, of course, you will need to use a flashlight, a special flashlight that will let you freeze the motion. And you will need this for the better result, for the best quality picture. But it is not always necessary to do that. If you, for example, if you want to freeze yourself from a camera, natural light can be enough motion. These two show you that that it is quite possible, because these two pictures were made with natural light. Though I raised ISO, there, I suppose the ISO on this picture is 800. I don't remember exactly how much, but 800 minimum. The quality is quite good as well. You can use the natural light in freezing motion. I don't know if it is seen very well, but on the second photo, the drops of water, they are quite sharp. I want to see that this is really possible to shoot the light without losing much. And the picture itself looks very nice. And speaking of the first picture, it is a commercial shoot. Here is the example that a commercial shoot can be made with natural light. Freeze motion of flying floor. This shot was made for the cookbook, for the Russian cookbook cover, for the cover of a book. This photo was published last year. It was on the cover of a cookbook, so there's nothing impossible. This was made with natural light only. And then, speaking of commercials with natural food photography. Yes, the next one. Yeah, before explaining photos, I would love to say that some photographers say it is impossible to make a good commercial photo without using equipment, flashlight, continuous light, for example. And I don't think it is right to say so, because many photographers who have just started their professional career, professional activity, they are afraid of to offer their skill and to brands and clients, because they don't have this equipment. They have just started. Well, and it is wrong. It's quite wrong to say that it's impossible to do that. Of course, as I said before, if you have to shoot levitation, freezing motion, maybe that's okay. You will have to use the equipment. But sometimes when you just have to show the product in a beautiful arrangement, natural light can be enough. The first photo here with yeah. This is one of my first commercial photo shoots when I didn't have equipment at all. I had only my camera and reflector, that's all. And the picture was the Russian brand of natural jam, fruit pastes and snacks. I used the natural light. You can see that the light comes from the left of the photo, and on the right of the photo is one reflector. The brief was to show the natural product made of natural ingredients in a beautiful arrangement. And to me, natural light was enough to make this photo, and the clients liked it, and they said that this was exactly what they were asking for. So this photo was made with natural light. The second photo, jewelry. Yes, this was a photo shoot I made for the local jewelry brand last year, I guess, last year. And here I used natural light intentionally. First, when I made this photo shoot, I used a flashlight, and I didn't like the result at all because the jewelry looked very flat. There was no light there, and the mirror looked very strange. But I wanted to keep this idea with the mirror because I liked it a lot. But the flashlight just didn't suit here. So I decided to make this photo shoot again, but using only natural light and the reflector. And it came out very beautiful. You can see that the jewelry looks nice, soft shadows. The mirror looks also very, very beautiful. Everything is quite soft, the colors, the shadows, and the main object, the earrings, they look sharp. And here's the natural light. And the third photo, it was the next, yes, it was also made for another brand of healthy desserts. And the brief from the client was they wanted to show on the picture that all their products are made with natural ingredients, though they are very bright, but they are made with absolutely no artificial colorings and artificial ingredients. And the brief from the client was to show that on the picture. So they wanted me to use some soft colors, no levitation, no artificial too bright colors. So I decided to make this photo shoot with natural light, and the client also was very glad. So these are the 3 examples of how to make commercial shoots with natural light only, and I guess that this could encourage the photographers who have just started their journey not to be afraid of to offer their skills to brands and services and clients without having any equipment, any professional equipment. So I guess that's enough for natural light, because we have already another type of light sources to speak about. I would like to move further to the next slide, and this slide shows my pictures which I shooted with the continuous light. I'm not sure, can you please, Barry, help me? Do you call it the same, continuous light? The LED lamps that are not flashlights, but which gives this continuous, not very beautiful yellow color while shooting. Do you use it? Okay, you don't hear me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I mute it. Okay. I also use the continuous light and also the flashlight.
Yeah. I mean, do you call it the same on your language? Continuous in English, continuous light, yeah? No?
Yes, right.
Continuous light, okay. All these photos were made continuous light. Okay. What is the difference to me between continuous light and the flashlight? Continuous light to me is much more similar to the natural light in some way, because it is much more softer than the flashlight. But it doesn't feel, it differs from natural light because it doesn't fill the space entirely when you shoot. For example, if you see the first photo, the continuous light highlights the fruit, but the background still remains in darkness. So if I would love to highlight the background, I would need to use or additional continuous light, or better use a flashlight. But the first photo I intentionally used the continuous light because I want fruit to be highlighted, and the rest of the background would be in shadow. So that was the concept. The second photo with the champagne, I also used a continuous light here, because if I would use a flashlight here, the background would be very sharp and it would be very contrast, which I didn't want, because I would want a person who looks at the picture to be focused on the glass of the champagne and on the bubbles inside the glass. So all I did here is to make everything around the glass to be soft, not sharp. You can see that the balls, they are big, but they do not bother the eye. Your eye still catches the glass of champagne, and that was my intention. And I like what exactly it turned out to be. And the third one is the example of how I use continuous light when shooting flat lace. I could use a flashlight here too, but I don't remember exactly why I use continuous light here. I remember that maybe I wanted a picture to be more volume, to have the picture could have the more volume here, because not to look very flat, because the flashlight gives the flat effect, as I have already told before. The light here comes from, you can see that the continuous light doesn't cover the whole surface here too. It comes from the right side of the photo, and you can see that the left side of the photo is more shadowed, though I used a reflector on the left side. It is still much more darker than the right side of the photo. So the continuous light doesn't cover all the surface. It's quite a big composition. It's about 1 meter height and about 70 or 80 centimeters in width. One LED lamp, one source of continuous light, doesn't cover this surface. So I needed to use a reflector here, but the picture is full of volume. It doesn't look flat, so I'm glad with the result. Okay, I was talking about freezing motion. And let's move to the flashlight. When do I use flashlight? Usually in my photography. Flashlight is necessary when I make big compositions, such as the one you can see, the table full of everything. And I wanted to show not only the table, I wanted a person who looks at the picture to see every detail, because this composition is not only about the slice of pie lying on the plate. If I wanted to make a photo of one slice only, I could use a continuous light. For example, it would be enough. But I wanted that a person who looks at the picture could see every single detail, because I wanted to create the atmospheric picture. I wanted to show the surface of the wall, the texture of the wall, every single pot, the vase, fruits, pies, glasses. Using continuous light wouldn't be enough for that. So I use a flashlight here. Okay, about the shadows, as I already told before, when using flashlight, it gives much more deep shadows, but sometimes I don't need them and I don't like deep shadows. in such big compositions, they would be unnecessary because they would make the picture look dirty, if you know what I mean. So to make shadows much more softer while using flashlight, I usually put it away from the composition. So the flashlight here stands in about 2 meters from the composition. That gives me an opportunity to make the shadows not so deep. And of course, on the left side, I use a reflector. You cannot see it because I hide it. The reflector also reduces shadows a little bit, so the picture looks very clear, though you can see all the details on the table. That's the flashlight. Okay. And also I have an interesting test for you, for all of you maybe, and for you, Barry, too. If you move to the next slide, you will see 2 pictures. They're almost the same. Some details may vary, but they're almost the same. One of them is made with continuous light, and the other one made with flashlight. Can you guess which one?
Oh my God, this is so hard. The picture looks almost the same. How about you guys? If you guys have already joined, then let's make a guess. Which one is with using continuous light and which one using the flashlight? Okay, the right one or the left one using, maybe we can guess that which one using the natural light, the right one or the left one. So
no, I can tell you that there is no natural light here.
Oh, okay, sorry. The continuous light and flashlight.
But one is continuous light and the other one is the flashlight.
Okay.
I don't know the size of the photos. The phone size may not give you the opportunity to see the details. They are important here.
Okay, so I'll go to the left one first. You guys see it, okay? So remember the picture, remember the lighting, and then, okay, I'll move to the next one. So yeah, this is the right one. Okay, so I want to guess also. So wait a minute. I'll see it. Okay, I think that maybe. Wow, this is hard.
Okay,
I think that the left one is using the flashlight and the right one using continuous light.
No.
Oh my God! Oh really?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you some clues. If you see the right picture, you don't look at the main object, at the cups, look at the background. You see that the background on the right photo is darker. This darkness is the shadow from the flower. When I use the flashlight, the flowers, they covered the background. The shadow was very deep because of the flashlight. And on the left, the shadow is deep, not. And also you can see the lemons, maybe the slice of lemon is on the left. It is much more soft looking than on the right side. Yeah, I can see. I even can see that it on the right photo there's a reflection from the flash. No, you cannot see.
Yes, I can see.
On the right side of the lemon, yeah. So small.
Yes. It's lemon, right?
Barely see it, but Yeah. And one more thing, that both photos are edited, of course. Fortunately, I don't have raw files to show you how these photos looked on camera, because I don't have the raw files. But on the left photo is much more have a yellow tone, much more yellow tone than the right photo does, because the continuous light gives this yellow unnecessary light, which we have to edit. Yeah. If you can compare, I don't really see now on the phone that the tones differs, but in my presentation on my laptop, I can see that the left photo has this yellow tone, though I
Yes.
also edited.
Right.
And the right picture made with flashlight, it is had this cool blue tone. If you can see, you can notice it while looking at the table. And the table on the left photo is not gray. It has this yellow undertone, and the right photo, the table on the right photo is cool gray without any yellow undertones. Okay, but the main difference between this photo is the shadows, of course. The shadows on the right photos are much more deeper. You can see it while looking at the background, at the wall. Yes, the shadow from the flowers are deeper on the right photo than they are on the left photo. And that's how I wanted to show you the difference between continuous light and the flashlight. Okay, I have lost my notebook. Okay. So, that was very fun, I suppose. I hope it was. And I would like to move further to the next and the last slide in my presentation. I would like to talk about combining different light sources in photography. Of course, I think that all photographers usually do that. But maybe someone who have just started shooting photography doesn't know that it's quite possible, and it is possible not only to make pictures for yourself, but to use combining light sources in commercial photography. The left picture was made during one of the workshops that I visited 1.5 years ago. The left photo with a glass of cocktail. Here, how do you think how many sources do we use there? You can see the reflections on the glass. On the right side of the photo, there is a flashlight, and this is the main source. This is the main, yes, that lightens all the composition. On the left side, there is a continuous light, a softbox, that lightens the left side of the photo. We could use a reflector here also instead of the, instead of the continuous light, but unfortunately we didn't have it. So we decided to reduce the shadows on the left using the continuous light. Yes, you can see the reflection of this of the soft box on the left side of the glass. And it's not everything, because we had also the third soft box of continuous lights that stood behind the composition. So it was a backlight. How do you think? Why do we used it? Oh, there's somebody.
Wow, hello.
Now, let's move to the subject. How do you think, why do we use the third light source here?
Maybe to reduce the shadow in the back.
No.
No.
No. You can see that. Okay. Please go away. You can see that the water splash. Not the splash. Yes, the water. The water above the glass. Yes. We used the third source to lighten up this water, to create this effect of a water cloud. So there's 3 sources here: 1 flashlight and 2 continuous lights. And one more picture. Yes, the second one. This is the example of how to combine natural light and the flashlight. Okay. The natural light here, it lightens the window behind the glasses of champagne. So to create this effect of the street, the outside effect, so that there is something snowy going on outside. This is the natural light. And the flashlight, it lightens the main object of the photo, the glasses of champagne. So you can see that it looks quite natural. 2 different sources, natural light and flashlight, they work quite well together. So that's about these are the examples of combining light sources in photography. The only thing I wanted to say that for me personally, it is not very good to combine the continuous light, which is very yellow, and natural light, which has these blue undertones. They will, so you can guess that these 2 lights will conflict with each other while shooting, and when you will see the results in your Lightroom portfolio, you will have to do a lot of work in editing in order to create the natural light effect. So natural and continuous lights don't work together at all for me. So that was the last slide. Yes. I wanted to show you my favorite light schemes in photography, but I didn't write anything away because I thought that I won't fit into time. So maybe next time we'll talk about it and I will be able to show you my favorite ones.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Thank you, Marina, for the explanation. Wow. The picture is stunning, and then I believe that if you guys just get the picture, you guys cannot guess which one is using the natural light, which one using continuous light, and which one using the artificial light. So the one important lesson here to learn is whatever kind of lighting you use, if it's natural, if it's artificial, if it's like continuous lighting, it's the most important thing is to know the lighting direction, and then also know how to use the lighting. This is much more important than what kind of lighting. When you already understand the lighting in food photography, then yeah, whatever kind of lighting you use, you still can get a beautiful picture. Wow. Okay, so we have. Okay, but I cannot hear you, Marina. Maybe you.
You can hear me now?
Yes. Okay, so we have
questions I didn't notice. I was so.
It's okay. I'll read the question for you. We have a first question from brother Afi. Okay, how do you combine the color? This is not about the lighting, but I'll just read the question. How do you combine the color of food in the background or the material? Is it use the color theory, maybe like complementary, triadic or something like that. Okay, so
Combining color, of course, the first year of learning photography, I used color patterns, the Ethan circle, if you know what I'm talking about, to combine colors. But then it's when you're it just comes to you naturally. You just know what color you want to see on your pictures, and so it's all about the practice, I suppose. First, of course, you use theory, you read you read articles, you use this Ethan circle, which gives you clues what colors combine with each other. Then you continue working, you just your intuition helps you to combine great compositions.
yes, well, yeah, I totally agree with that. And since our sessions today is about the lighting, maybe you can also find the schedule of our event, because there's also another event we will explain more about the color theory and then color combining. Yep. And then I also have question about the wait a minute. How to start? What if someone asks you about how to start, is it okay to start with natural light, or is it the best to learn from the continuous light or the artificial light, if for someone who want to just start the food photography career?
Well, I think that it's so important to have the full equipment in order to for the beginners. Natural light is enough for you to learn the ABC of photography. As I have it earlier, you can even start commercials using only natural light. The only thing you have to do is to practice, practice, and practice. And the light is not the only thing in photography. You will need to know composition rules, yes, color combinations, and editing photography. Some technical aspects of your camera, how to use diaphragm, and other things. You should learn everything in general. The light is not having a flashlight or a equipment is not a necessary thing for the beginners. You just start from the theory and start practicing with natural light, and then you will come to the next level. I started with natural light, and I shoot it for almost a year using only natural light. Then I realized that I have learned a lot of things, and I want to learn, and then I will need more equipment, because I wanted to learn how to use continuous light, how to use flashlight in my work. So only after I have learned theory, color combination, as I told you, or composition rules, I moved further.
I see. Okay. Well, and then actually, what impressed me is I really love these pictures. And then wow, this is using natural light. Wow, this is amazing. And then, can you imagine how complex is this picture if you use like the artificial light or the continuous light? But yeah, with just the natural light, you can get this beautiful phrasing picture. What I want to ask is, what is your go-to settings for freezing scenes like this? I mean, what is the first settings you usually use for testing this kind of picture?
Can you please repeat the question because the
Ah,
connection is not very good? Yeah.
okay, sure, sure. What I want to ask is, what is the camera settings you usually use at the first if you want to try to take this kind of picture?
Okay. The settings, as I told, the ISO was about 800.
Yes.
Yes, the diaphragm was 3.2, I guess. Don't remember exactly, but um, when I usually shoot, try to freeze the motion with natural light, I use these settings. ISO 800 or 1000. It depends on the light outside the window. If it's a quite bright day, I can reduce the ISO even to 500. Um, if it's a cloudy or rainy day, or there is not much light outside the window, of course I raise this ISO. Here it was 800, I suppose. Yes, and the diaphragm 130 3.2, and the shutter speed was 250, or no, maybe even higher, 101 and 1/400, something like that.
Ah, okay. You start with the settings like 1/400 for the shutter speed, and then for the aperture 3.2, and then the ISO is either like 800 or 1000.
Yes, something between that.
Ah, I see. Because this is so amazing, and then it's really freeze. Okay, because yeah, even if you shoot like with the artificial lighting, but you don't have the speed synchronized feature on your lighting, you cannot get this freeze picture because the maximum or of ordinary flashlight is only 160 for the shutter speed, right? You have to like get the speed sync feature on the flashlight to get this one. But if you can use the natural light, just you can really use that kind of setting that that Marina said before. And this, what I like is also this. This is also the freeze is very nice, and then there's no blur at all. Okay, if I get this picture and then you ask me to see, then maybe I'll tell you that this is using the artificial light. I having no clue that this one is using natural light. This is very amazing.
Light from the window, which comes on the left, so you can see that this is light from the window, and the reflector. Of course, the reflector is on the right side of the composition.
Ah, I see. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is so cool. And maybe one day I want to try this kind of composition and this kind of scene. I really like this one. I really like the water.
I would like.
And the... So beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay. So actually for the freezing scenes like this, oh, what how many time you spend for each sessions like this?
And again, the connection was bad. Please repeat.
Ah, sure, sure. For this kind of scenes, usually how many times you spend for this picture?
How many what?
How many times you spend to take this picture?
Well, there was about 8 to 10 attempts to create this cloud of floor that I decided that that seemed to me perfect. 10, 8, 10 attempts. After each attempt, I had to clear the surface and to start all over again. So it was quite challenging.
I see. Okay, okay. So we get another question here about. Wait. Can we know where the focus was while shooting this picture? Okay. I also interested about the focus. Where you usually focus, for example, for this picture.
Yes, the focus was in at the middle of the bowl with the floor. And yes, I was trying to make this cloud just above this point in order that all this floor that is flying would be in focus also. Yes, here was the focus in the middle of the bowl.
Ah, I see. Wow, that's smart. Okay, so you can spread the floor just above the focus, so you can make this looks very sharp. Wow. Okay, that's very cool strategy. Wow. Great
Oh,
question, Carrie Lens. Wow. Okay, so. How long you took that picture? Okay.
as I said, I had to clear everything after each shot. It took me about, oh my God, 1.5 hours, I think, not less, to
Wow.
make different attempts. Yeah, you shoot, you clean first, you wash your hands, you make the floor looking again in the bowl. You start all over again. Yeah. It's maybe quite overwhelming, but if you see you first you see the result in your head and you wish to achieve that in reality, I think that you will continue.
Okay, wait. Oh my God, is this you?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, so you shoot it by yourself.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, well, amazing. Okay. So it's possible. Okay. So we have another question from maybe we can consider this as the last question since the time is running out. So from Pix Aura, which lens would you suggest?
Well, for food photography, I suppose started, and this particular shot was made with Sigma lens 50 1 slash 4, and for a long time this was enough for me. Now I have Canon lens, also 50 fix, and the is zoom 24 slash 70, which gives me opportunity to shoot something like macro photo. Not exactly macro, because 70 is not enough for macro, but make really good photos of texture of fruits, of berries, for example. It's quite enough. For the beginners, well, I think that enough. And you will want to have more lens. That's normal.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. I really like this lens, like Sigma Art 50 1.4. The first time I used this lens, this is very amazing. If if you guys have budget, then I think this lens is more than perfect.
Yes,
But it's a bit costly, but it's worth it. This one. Wow. This
yeah,
one, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It's quite expensive, but it's really worth it. Okay, but and then okay, so Finally, we are at the end of the session for today. Wow, it's very inspiring. Thank you so much, Marina, for the session for today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Wow. Okay, I really inspired from you because you tried all of kind of the lighting, and then all of them is amazing and beautiful. Okay, I I think that many of our guests here also inspired for your work because it's very amazing. And then, yeah, it's inspired us to use many kind of source of lighting, regardless how many tools or lighting you have, but you still can have beautiful picture when you have the effort. Yes. Okay. So, thank you so much, Marina, for today. Maybe we can collaborate again in the future. I'm waiting for your course. Is it in English or in Russian?
No, in English. In English.
Wow. Okay. So perfect then.
Requests from English-speaking followers, I decided to make it in English. I hope that August may be the time of launch. Hopefully.
Wow. Okay. So keep update, and then maybe you can tag our account also when you launch your course, and we will definitely repost it. Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Marina, and see you again. Bye bye.
Great day. Bye. Bye.
Bye.